it's me, Jane McDowell, and another episode of Heart-Centered Conversations, where I delve into people's bookshelves and find out what gems have inspired them to do great things in life and what the ripple effect may be. So today I am super excited to have my great friend Amy Oldfield with me. So Amy, take it away.
Hello.
Tell people all about yourself.
Hi, thanks for having me on the show, Jane. As you said, I'm Amy, and me and Jane have known each other for a number of years, but we've never had a book discussion.
Oh.
So I'm in the health and fitness industry. Me and Jane have done some work together over the years, so that's how we know each other. And I'm a personal trainer and nutrition coach, so that's what I spend most of my time doing. And the book that I'm going to talk about today, it kind of feeds into that as well, so we can kind of talk about how it's helped me in what I do and what I help other people with as well.
Yeah, so tell us, what is the book, Amy?
With it, this cover's so old school. This is The Slight Edge.
Isn't it? Because look, this is more new
Yeah,
school.
yeah, yeah. So I bought this one. Let me just show that on the
Yeah,
screen.
beautiful.
I bought this one in 20, I'm going to say 14. So yeah, they've had a revamp on the cover.
Yeah, yeah.
This is my version. Although it looks more like, you know, 1990s, doesn't it?
Does, yeah, it
Yeah,
needed a revamp.
it
So
did.
obviously we can't judge a book by its cover, remember people?
Absolutely.
So
I kind of did when I saw it. I was like, oh, but you know, it's been recommended, so better
yeah,
read it.
yeah. So tell me, what was happening in your life at the point that you read the book and how did it move you forward?
Yeah, so like I said, I think I bought it in about 2014. And at this point, I was a year or so into being self-employed. I was starting my own business for the first time, and a friend of mine who was already running her own business had read it, and she said how she found it really useful, and I absolutely had to read it. So that was why I went out and bought it. And I think I've read it 3 times now, and I actually find it really useful to go back to periodically as a refresher.
Yeah. Do you find that when you go back to it, you see things in a different way, or you take them in a different way and apply them differently to your life and business?
Yeah, I think you do. And with all of these personal development, self-help type books, there's so much in there that you can't really absorb and apply all of it in one go. You have to sort of take bits of it, apply it, test it out,
Yeah,
and going over it a second or third time, you feel like, oh, I don't even remember reading this the first time. So
yeah.
you have to keep going over it. So it's been a really good one to continue going back to over the years.
Mm. So how has it helped you with your business? Because even since we first met, your business has shifted quite significantly, and you have gone on your journey, and it's been really inspiring to watch that as well, Amy, because going from one business and selling that and then opening up another business with a slightly different ethos to how you approach health and fitness. It's amazing. So, yeah, tell me more.
Well, if I explain the premise of the book, the slight edge principle, you can summarize it as it's the small daily actions that are, and this is what Jeff Olsen says, small daily actions that are easy to do, but they're also easy not to do. And it's so relevant with every aspect of our life when it comes to health, relationships, finance, career. Like, we can all see the actions that we either take or don't take on a day-to-day basis that take us further towards our goal or further away from.
Yeah,
And so that's the premise of the book. And he talks a lot about how you can't just go straight to daily actions. You know, you can't just do an action and expect it to stick and expect to get results from it. You kind of have to go back a bit and actually think about your philosophy in life, your attitude in life. And that is what trickles down into your thoughts and your feelings. And then you get the actions, and then you get the results.
Yeah.
But in the business world, like, we want success right now. And in the health and fitness world, we want results yesterday. But actually, we can't focus on the results so much, because that's the last thing that happens. And so the idea behind the slight edge is doing things day in, day out, consistently, that feel just like so small and insignificant at the time, but they have that trickle effect, that compound interest effect, eventually get to the results. But really, it all starts with your outlook on life and your attitude and your mindset to begin with. So I've applied it consistently with everything that I've done, because it is so relevant to literally every aspect of your life.
Yeah, and it's particularly relevant to the way you work with your clients now, right?
Yeah, slight edge principle. I have to teach it because it's so relevant.
Yeah. Because it's not about achieving a quick turnaround, quickly lose loads of weight and look fantastic, and you're sort of building up towards people looking fantastic long term and keeping looking fantastic and feeling fantastic, rather than a quick fix and then having to start all over again. So
yeah, absolutely. So it's been really helpful for me on my own health and fitness journey, and in my coaching as well. And there's one thing that Jeff Olsen calls invisible results in the book. And this couldn't be more true of someone who is on some kind of weight loss journey, fitness journey, that for quite a while, the results are invisible.
Yeah.
you don't get to realize them for quite a while. So you've just got to be consistent with the daily actions and the daily routines in order to see those results one day. But I think the problem is, in the world we live in, it's all like instant gratification. Everything it's at our fingertips now. So we're not used to having to be patient and wait for things. But we have to for success.
Exactly. I think he talks about, if you want to achieve a great success, you need to slow down in order to get there. It's kind of yeah. So tell me, now that you've read the book 3 times, I think you said, and you're working differently with your clients, how have you seen the ripple effect of this book, not just in your life, but in the lives of your clients?
So I think it comes down to a lot about, I was just saying, like with the invisible results and the instant gratification, and not focusing so much on the end goal, because the end goal will happen as long as you find ways to enjoy and be consistent with the, quite frankly, boring day-to-day actions that you need to do. You know, it's the stuff like, you're going to have to drink a couple of liters of water every single day for the rest of your life. You know, you're going to have to make sure you eat your vegetables. You're going to have to make sure that you go to bed on time. Make sure that, like, you have some kind of stress management in your life, and you're going to have to make sure that, like, you do those workouts even on the days when you don't want to do them, because it's that compound interest effect. And this is what I teach my clients, that in isolation, like, it's not going to be a big deal, like skipping one workout or having a cheeseburger instead of a salad. Like, it is no big deal every now and again in isolation. But if you continue to do that for days and weeks and months and years, that's going to have a negative effect on your health. But then it's the flip side as well. Like, doing one workout, eating one salad, that's not going to make you super fit and healthy and lean. But doing it consistently, day in, day out, weeks, months, and years, like in 10 years' time of doing that, you'll probably be quite a different person than you are now.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you hit the nail on the head as well about it finding the fun. And he talks about that a lot in the book, doesn't he? About how people with a more positive attitude are generally more happy in life
Yeah.
and are generally more healthy because of having a positive outlook. So how do you get to grips with this? I'm guessing that not everyone who comes to you and wants some help that it's easy for them to suddenly switch their mindset and start looking positively at doing things like, God, how do I eat this much protein a week, or how do I reduce my calories or increase them, or whatever might be going on for them. So how do you have any like tips or tricks, or of how you help
Yeah.
people switch that positivity switch on rather than the negative?
Yeah. And with any health and fitness program, you can't expect to like read the book or watch the video or whatever it is, like however it's delivered, or like just take the advice from your coach and then expect it to be totally straightforward to go ahead and implement it. And this is where it comes back to the mindset and the thought patterns and the philosophies, and not necessarily always having a positive mindset or positive attitude, because it's kind of unrealistic, sorry, to be 100% positive all the time.
Yeah, sure.
And if you were, you'd do people's heads in, wouldn't you? But it is really about like your philosophy on your approach. So a really common like state of mind that I see women coming into my program with is the all or nothing thinking, for example. So feeling like you're either doing everything great and you're succeeding, or you do one thing wrong and then you're failing.
Yeah.
And so it's a shift of perhaps understanding that failure is good, like failure is necessary. That's how we learn. I have failed over and over again in business, in life, in health, but in all of those failures is a learning. So there's never really a failure. It's just a growth opportunity. So
Yeah.
we kind of reframe that all or nothing so that we can find a middle ground and know that doing all the things absolutely perfectly 100% of the time is eventually going to set you up for quote unquote failure, because it's kind of an impossible standard. So
Yeah.
we have to have that flexible mindset and that outlook of actually welcoming failure. Like, how many times can I fail? How much can I learn? Because that's a real springboard for
Yeah.
success.
Yeah, definitely. So what other areas of your life or your business have been touched by this idea of the compound effect?
Joe, what? As I was looking through the book again before our conversation, in books they often have little boxes where you can write things and it will give you a little task to do. Well, I first did the task in 2014 when I bought the book, and so I was looking through it before today, and realizing that the goals that I'd set in there, I've achieved almost all of them, and it's so cool to think
Oh, brilliant.
like I set those intentions almost 10 years ago, with specific goals, specific daily actions, but also things which Jeff Olsen calls what's the price to pay. Like when
Mm.
you're working towards a goal, there are usually, there's some sacrifices and some discomfort in there. So I'd kind of gone through that process and realized that I'd built the business that I wanted to, which was my personal training studio. That was kind of one goal. I got the revenue that I wanted to. I sold it, which was also what I wanted to do.
Yeah,
Uh,
and you sold it during the pandemic, which, hats off to you, Amy. That's pretty amazing to have sold a premises-based business at that point in history. So,
yeah, it was not easy,
congratulations.
but we got there. We got there. Um, and yeah, like I wrote down that goal in 2014 in this book. I sold my business in 2021.
Yeah.
So what's that, like 7 years later?
Yeah.
Um, And I had some other goals in there, something around my health and fitness, saying that I wanted to gain 2 kilos of muscle. And like to do that, I would have to work out 5 times a week and do X, Y, Z. And I was kind of looking down it and I was like, God, yeah, like I've done all of this. Like I have changed my health and my physique. And it just takes that time for someone to sit down and think, what do I want? And realistically, what am I going to have to do day in, day out, whether I want to do it or not, to
Yeah,
get that?
yeah. I think that's a really valuable way of looking at things, especially, I talk to lots of people who've got businesses, they've started out in business, or they're looking at scaling up. And like going back to what you said before, it's, there's so many people who think, well, just touch of a button, I can make it happen. And it's that daily grind of what are the must-haves, what are the must-dos, and are you prepared to do them? Because if you're not prepared to do them, then be honest with yourself and, you'll get a job.
Yeah,
But
yeah, change the goal. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So one of the one of the things that came up in the book for me, which I'd like to your opinion on, is he talks about how to get to 1 million, it's about saving the pennies, right? Well, you
Yeah.
just don't make 1 million done. And then he talks about his mother and how he'd always thought she was relatively, low income, not very much money. And then she got to about retirement age, and he discovered that she was a millionaire because she had saved all this money as she
Yeah.
went along in life, which I thought was great. And then I felt a bit angry with the mum. I was thinking, well, if you were doing that, why didn't you teach your son to do that too? Why did he have to go through what he went through to be able to become successful? Yeah, I don't know what your thought on that was.
No, I kind of agree. Like, if you discovered something that works, why would you keep it to yourself?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think there's a bit of self-recognition, as in my mum is really good with money, and I traditionally have been terrible with it. And then yeah, just like, how come she didn't ever teach me this is how you deal with money? I guess some people just think things are just innately known or something. I don't know.
And
But
a lot
yeah,
of people, they like their children to learn their own lessons, like learn the hard way. I think
yeah,
maybe
thanks,
there's a
mum.
bit of that in there. Yeah. Yeah. Like the story that he tells right at the beginning of the book, and I don't know whether it's a true story or not, about the wealthy man who's about to die.
Oh yeah,
And he has 2 sons the option of like having £1 million today
yeah,
or having a penny that doubles every day and like,
yeah,
teach
yeah,
interest. And obviously the son that took the £1 million straight away didn't end up as wealthy as the one that took the doubling penny.
yeah,
I guess he also wanted his kids to learn.
yeah. But it could have been that one of them was not good at maths and the other one was.
Could have been that. Yeah.
Or it's going back to that instant gratification thing, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, and of
all at
course that's
once.
why
Or
he took the £1 million. Yeah,
yeah,
like
yeah,
he wanted it right now. Like we all want the results now.
yeah. So what would you do today if that was offered to you?
Well, having
Sounds
learned the
like
lesson,
indecent proposal almost, but it's not. Like,
I would 100% take the penny.
yeah,
Yeah, give me the
it's
penny.
yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to work out how long it would take to get to 1 million, just exponential growth every day. Anyway, I'm
Well,
not
I'm
going to
pretty
achieve
sure in
that
the
one.
book he makes out that it was only 30 days and the boy with the penny had multi-millions. But I did the maths and I was like, no, that's not right. Um, but he would have got 1 million eventually. And I think the other thing is, as you get older, time goes quicker, right? So when we think about, oh, I can't, oh, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to build this business, or I don't want to kind of go on this like weight loss plan because it's going to take too long. I've got so far to go. A year is not a long period of time. Like, if you have a big body transformation, it's probably not going to take you 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Like, it's fine for it to take a year.
Yeah,
I'm actually on a transformation journey of myself at the moment. I've got some goals that I want to achieve by the time I'm 40, which is about 18 months away. And I'm fine for those goals to take 18 months because I know that time it's going to go like that.
Yeah.
Like, how quick does Christmas come around? Every year you're like, here it is again.
Yeah.
It just goes quick. So, like, if you have some goals, just get started on them now because time's going to pass anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next year before you know it.
Yeah, exactly. Why delay? You know, you could start today and get there quicker than you think you might. Or it will take, if you don't start today, it will take longer than you think it will. So you might,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Even though the journey feels long, it won't. Like, that time's just going to fly.
yeah, exactly. Oh, so tell me, um, I know that you read a lot of books, Amy. What other books have really inspired you in your life and business? Maybe like two others that spring to mind.
Yeah. So, oh gosh, you've put me on the spot now.
Oh, wow.
Um, there's another similar self-development book called Cybernetics,
Okay.
which is very good. Recommend that if you like the slight edge and that kind of talk about your attitude on life and how to get yourself into a better mindset and those kind of like brain hacks,
Yeah.
then Cybernetics is a really good one. One of the things I really enjoyed about that book was how you can create anything within your mind.
Mm,
Like, you can create happiness in a second with your own mind, or you can create sadness in a second with your own mind.
yeah.
Really like powerful tools in there. And then I also spend a lot of my time geeking out on books about nutrition, gut health, hormones, that kind of stuff. And one of my favorite books that I have read over the last year is one called The Hormone Repair Manual by an author called Lara Briden. She's a doctor. I'm not just an author, but obviously she's written this book.
Mm,
I think that every woman really should understand more about their hormonal health,
yeah.
menopause, their cycles. And so Lara Briden has another book as well, which is called The Period Repair Manual. That's kind of like for younger women. And then as you get into menopause, the hormone repair manual are just big eye openers, and just so reassuring as a woman to know that there are solutions to most, if not all, the kind of challenges that we go through as women.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I, my own journey, with periods and menopause, my periods were horrendous all my life. Menopause came and I was like, yeah. Um, it's just such a shame that we're not educated. I think that this should be taught in schools because, you know, the effect that it has on our thought process, our well-being, our outlook on life, what's possible, what we think is possible for us. I mean, I always used to get really angry with those like body form adverts of women skating around like, hey, look at me, I'm on my period. And I'd just be sitting there thinking, well, this is not realistic for me. I'm like on the floor, curled up in a ball, in absolute pain, puking my guts up. None of that was portrayed. So I just think it should be, people should be educated, boys and girls, really, because, the more people understand how people's bodies and how it affects their mood and their ability to perform well. I mean, do you remember there was a couple of years ago, I can't remember which tennis player it was. She was interviewed after a match, I think it was at Wimbledon or something, and she mentioned the fact that she didn't think she'd done so well that day because she was on her period. And there was kind of like, oh, she said, what? But it's so true, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember that particular interview, but yeah, I can imagine. It's like, oh my God, you said period on a
Yeah, yeah,
it just needs to be, everyone needs to get over it. It's something
definitely.
that 50% of the population go through once a month, and then they're all going to go through menopause as well. So we need to educate everyone better, male and female, like just break down those taboos and just make the whole journey just so much more pleasant and manageable, because there's so much you can do to balance your hormones and feel better. But talking about it is where it starts.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think, you know, what you're doing in your business and the clients that you help, it's just so invaluable for everyone. And, you know, understanding the difference between how men's bodies work and women's bodies work, and what's possible for you, you know, when it comes to health and fitness and your strength and all that kind of scenario is just, yeah. The fact that we as women have been told for so long that we should follow the same fitness regimes as the men, and supposedly get the same results, and we don't. Yeah, it's a bit of a feel a bit cheated in a way. So, but I guess that the science had to catch up, and so
Yeah, science had to catch up, and you always reserve your right for like new research to come out and
yeah.
discover new things, and then we evolve our practices and how we can live our lives differently and treat our bodies better. So maybe in 50 years time everything will be much different. I've just realized actually I've got another book on my desk. I don't think many people have this on their desk, but this is also a great book. Talking
Oh
period.
wow.
So Period Power by
Yeah.
Maisie. For any women who are interested in cycle syncing, this is an absolute killer book. Really interesting. And it's a British author as well, which is nice, because just so many books that I tend to read are by authors in the US. So really refreshing to have one written by a British author.
Awesome. So Amy, what do you read to relax?
I
I know
am
you're all about reducing stress levels and switching off. So, what do you read to relax?
I'm a bit of a weirdo. I read to learn. So
Well, that's okay.
I I literally cannot read fiction because it bores me. And I'm like, oh, everyone's like, ah. I read to learn. So that's why I spend a lot of time reading personal development books, nutrition books, hormones, anything really where I can learn.
Mhm.
Like I tried to buy something the other day, which was not to do with my sort of business brain, and I bought a book about cats and like the way that cats think and behave. It's like a cat behavior book. So
Yeah.
like reading it does feel relaxing for me, but of course the ideal relaxation is reading a good bit of fiction, isn't it? So
Well, seemingly not for you, Amy, if you don't
yeah, no,
enjoy
not
it.
for me.
So what? So just,
It makes
you
me
know,
so
in
relaxed
terms.
I'm bored.
So what do you do to de-stress and to relax yourself?
Yeah. So I love yoga. That is really relaxing for me. I love walking in nature. That's a big one for me, whether I'm out walking with my dog or I'm just listening to some music and, you know, just absorbing all the green spaces, listening to a podcast, you know, something really great like this. Is very relaxing for me. And things like cooking I find very, very relaxing as well. My husband is the complete opposite. Like cooking is very stressful for him. It's very relaxing for me.
Yes, I'm guessing the reason it's relaxing for you is because you know exactly what you're putting in your body and what it's doing for you. Whereas I'm just kind of like, oh my God, is this too much fat in this? Is this like I'm gonna get through this? I know, but this is where I'm at the moment. It's just like, yeah,
Learning phase. Yeah.
yeah, learning phase, which is great because I too love learning, and you know, kind of goes back to this. It's like, you know, find the fun in it and just you keep doing the daily bits and it will become habit forming and everything will fall into place. Yeah, yeah. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Amy. It's been a lot of fun chatting to you, and I will put the details of all the other books we've mentioned in the description of the show. And yeah, if anyone's out there and they want to know more about Amy and her work, then you can look up www.bodytheory. Yes,
bodytheorybyamy.co.uk.
brilliant. Wonderful. Well, I will thank you for watching, everyone, and I will see you in the next episode. Remember to like and subscribe. Take care. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.